I want to be a diplomat one day. I want to represent Malaysia. Do I really want to represent a Malaysia who is so corrupt down to its core that every single rakyat here doesn't trust? When I say I want to work in the government, they just look at me and say like, be careful. Instead of, wow, you're doing something good for Malaysia, you're actually like helping us with like, no, they just like, be careful and don't misstep or anything, because you know you'll end up in very bad places.
Hai semua, apa khabar? Welcome back to Apa Kata MUDA podcast. Today kita ada a topic yang recently happened, which is we are talking about the rasuah, the protest rasuah tu. So kalau korang ingat a few recently ada protest rasuah, yang protest Rakyat Benci Rasuah tu. So that protest is not just to protest about Najib. A lot of people say it was a protest about Najib, but it was a protest about macam the rasuah culture and what is going on, apa yang tengah jadi sekarang dekat Malaysia, yang banyak ahli-ahli politik yang disabit rasuah ataupun ada court case, dilepaskan di NAA, and then after that pula termasuklah dengan Najib dapat pengampunan and he's going to get a house arrest punya status. So those kind of things yang membuat orang semua turun keluar untuk protes Rakyat Benci Rasuah ni. But to be honest, I was there, tapi macam I know macam apa I was there behalf on the party apa semua, but we want to talk about orang-orang yang ada sana, why they go down or how they experience. Sebab kebanyakan orang yang turun, banyak yang still muda and then baru first time or something like that. So today kita ada guest, Vicky. Hi Vicky.
Hi. So I'm Vicky Chin, and that was actually my first protest.
Oh, I thought you've been to like other protests, the Palestine one apa semua.
Oh, that was, but this is kind of like my large scale protest, where we walked a lot and it was under the sun. It was with one of my closest friends, because during the Palestine masa tu, we were just like mid Teroka season, and I wasn't really quite as familiar to them as I am now.
Okay. Hold on, kejap. Before you continue with your story, kita orang first time jumpa Vicky on Apa Kata MUDA. Why don't you introduce yourself, how you get to Apa Kata MUDA and all that stuff?
Okay, so I'm Vicky and I'm 21 now, and actually I knew about Apa Kata MUDA is from Abol, and I knew Abol from Teroka. Teroka is this political masterclass, I would say, where we go and we learn more about the political systems and how it works in Malaysia and how it helps the rakyat. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So from Teroka, they do teach you guys about activism, about fighting,
social activism and all that.
Okay, so was that the thing that led you to want to join the protest?
Yeah, actually it was during where we had this session where we made placards and all that. I didn't attend the protest, but it was really, everyone was like helping out and trying to find out ways to like write the most creative one that stands out the most and makes people like relate more to the placards and know what we're fighting for, because it's very important, right? When a placard is out of the objective or doesn't really blends well, people tak faham and they just lose sight. Like how during the protest that you mentioned, everyone said it's about Najib, because like the placards, a lot of them were the Fahmi Reza's art of the Najib, the Najib art kan. So everyone was like, oh, it's about Najib, but actually it's about like a lot of like the corruption culture that we have, and how our present government has let us down. Like I think it mentioned in the media, the pernyataan media, that they say like the hypocrisy around this reformasi that Anwar was supposed to lead but failed to, and in turn pardon like Musa Aman, Najib's wife, and then further down Najib's itself. Like, yeah, it really sparks this outrage within our, like, I myself is a university student, so I was like, what the hell, you know, like you boast so much during your voting days, like, oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, but nothing came to fruition. Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about the protest itself. Macam since it's your first protest, it is good lah, because we have a macam a view from someone who first time joined the protest. So what do you think of the protest?
At first, I want to say, like, pre-protest, there was a lot of planning, you know. You need to really strategize how you get there in the first place, because there was a lot of rumors and like actual people saying that, oh, there were police camping out at LRT stations so that they would scare away protesters. That actually happened, and we had to park all the way like a few stations away, and then gather there, and then walk a long way to the protest itself. And then we were scared, you know, because we are scared, like, oh, what if the police saw us and then asked for our ICs and then try to scare us, but we know our rights, right? And before the protest, there was a lot of preparation. You need to read about what is your right as the Rakyat, and what is the police right. What right do they have to capture you, ask for your IC? You need to ask for their badge number. You need to ask why are they arresting you? Why are you getting into custody for, you know? And then during the protest, it was really lively. There was a lot of media people, and you need to really be careful because there was a truck there, so you need to know where you're going, and you need to make sure everyone's safe, because I went with a group of friends, right? I need to make sure everyone is there, and everyone is safe, because like that was during that time it was like a heat wave kind of thing. There was no water, and we were like, oh, we need to get water, we need to get this, because someone's having like a heat coma thing, like going into, so we need to prevent that. I need to prepare fans and like fan them. Yeah, there was a lot of, you need to know you need to prepare for what happened next. You need to prepare for the worst situation possible, so that it wouldn't go there. Yeah.
So at first, right, if I remember, that they said they were supposed to meet up in Sogo.
Yeah.
And they closed down Sogo, right?
Yeah, they closed down the front gate, and there was police there actually, and so we had to go into like this place, like this corner, and then there were already a lot of police there. There was police in front and behind us, and we were really careful of what we're doing. We're very, very aware of what we're doing, so that we won't trigger them. We won't set off an alarm for them to get an excuse to get us, you know. And yeah, and then after that they lifted off, and then we started going to the route to Dataran Merdeka.
Yeah. So, but were they like macam intimidating the police? But they were just standing there.
Yeah, we were just standing there. Yeah.
Okay. So itulah, because I remember when I was going to protest for Sogo. Do you know how the Sogo thing came about now?
Because Anwar is the first.
No, because at first when we all going to Dataran, the protest place has always been Dataran Merdeka, because that's where the historical site is.
Yeah.
So to get to Dataran Merdeka, the easiest place to kumpul is Sogo. So that's where the Sogo thing happened. So normally they would kumpul in Sogo and then walk to Dataran Merdeka.
It's the most logistic.
Yeah, so macam it is the first time in all of the years of the protest, even during Anwar days, Reformasi and all that Sogo closed.
Oh.
So that is macam when I was going there, because you guys, I was a bit late lah, macam sorry, but I was a bit late lah.
Yeah.
So when I was getting there, they said that Sogo is closed. It was a surprise, because never in history of macam the protest that Sogo was closed.
That scared Sogo so much it closed, right?
Yeah. So macam that's what they said happened lah. So macam let us get to the macam, I want to ask you also macam when you go down to the protest, do you know? Can you tell us a bit about the issue itself, the rasuah in Malaysia?
Okay, so for a second, I was like, corruption has been a thing in Malaysia. It's been a culture, even from the rakyat themselves to the police or within themselves. It's been something that is so like normalized within the culture. Like, oh, just give them 50, just give them what do you call that? For Chinese, we call it teh, duit teh.
Duit kopi.
Yeah, duit kopi. Yeah. And during Chinese New Year, they'll give eng paos and all that. It was very frequent, and I hated that. I'm not like I'm a narc or anything, but why are we giving them all this to protect ourselves? It's like giving gang people money just to protect ourselves. And then when you go to a larger scale, when it messes up the politics and how a government should work, and you monopolize on it, and like you lobby kan, the corruption works to work in their favor, right? Who is the main the people who suffers the most? The rakyat. Like their tax money is going into it, and then everyone is trying to funnel it into different stuff. Everyone's trying to use it for their own. Everyone's trying to use it for their own good, kind, for their very realistic kind of realism kind of thing. And it's very like depressing to see, because a government should operate in the interest of the rakyat, and the people in government should work for us, not the other way around. And it loses this bridge of trust between the government and the people. And like it's very hard ever since the whole hadir phase, you know, and the trust between the government and any political party, between the rakyat and the government is over. It's like the trust there is barely there. And things that the government do is further making this trust, like is further eroding this trust. Correct. You know what I mean? Like it's very depressing. And as a student, I'm working in international relations. Another tip about me, and it's like I'm going to be a I want to be a diplomat one day. I want to represent Malaysia. Do I really want to represent a Malaysia who is so corrupt down to its core that every single rakyat here doesn't trust? When I say I want to work in the government, they just look at me and say like, be careful. Instead of, wow, you're doing something good for Malaysia, you're actually like helping us with like, no, they just like, be careful and don't misstep or anything, because you know you'll end up in very bad places. And that's how bad the view of government is. Like it's so sad to see that, and the only way we can fix that is by transparency between the government and the people, you know, like to make sure that we build this good trust, good faith, so that other entities such as mafia, or like even bad entities such as mafia, and also good oligarchy, you know, like big companies that want to take over, doesn't get the opportunity to. So it's between the trust, that this trust is very important, because it benefits each other. But by looking at the present, it's not. It's doing the worst thing possible. Yeah.
I understand. So I'll tell you a story of how I know that Malaysia is very corrupt. So I was on Instagram. I was doom scrolling lah. I do that a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
So this was I think a few months ago. It was last year. I think around the end of November or like early December. So I was doom scrolling, and then there was this reel about Lee Kuan Yew. You know, the ex. The first Prime Minister.
Yeah, isn't this his speech? Yeah. His like iron fist or something?
No. He was telling the story of the CIA.
Oh.
Okay, so he said that a CIA member wanted to know how Singapore is going, so they wanted a report on Singapore. So they tried to bribe the officials of Singapore, and the official went to report to the Prime Minister and everything macam they deteriorate lah. So he said that the CIA couldn't get information on Singapore, and because our people were not corrupt. So I wrote that in the comment. I said, then probably the CIA has everything about Malaysia kan. So that was like 2 months ago. Until now, I'm still receiving notification how people liked it. So it's like macam, so that's how I know macam every Malaysian who saw that video was saying macam, oh yeah, Malaysia confirm CIA has everything on us.
We're probably done if CIA tries to pull the same thing.
Yeah.
Or it did, we will never know.
We will never know kan, because probably they did. Macam, hopefully they don't.
Not just pull some information, they might just even do some tricks in it. Yeah.
So they probably like macam CIA probably has everything on us because macam we're that corrupt. So everybody was liking it until now lah. But what do the youth macam do macam youth macam subscribe to the idea of bribery, macam rasuah, in a sense macam my friends when I was younger, macam they wanted to start a business apa semua. They always say we need cable lah, we need to grease this, grease that.
We do have that thing called cable. I mean, coming from like I study in a well-prestigious university, right? There's always a mention of nepotism, cable, like, if you help me with this, I'll get you some internship, something. It's always like that, right? But I cannot just look at where I come from, where I study at, because it's very, the students there are all someone's kid, someone's daughter, someone's child, right? But if you look more further into like the entire generation, like I feel like there's more radicalism, more like really push for like change, yes, because that's how everyone gone through in life, right? And I feel like there's more like a very hard foot forward where we say like stop all this kind of shit. If we want to stop this kind of bullshit, we need to put it in ourselves first.
Understand?
And I'm coming from like a middle class generation. When I look at a more higher class above me, I feel like there's still that things going on when it benefits them. When it's like a sort of trading and all that, I'm not afraid to say or hide things, and I know for a fact that they would do that and they would try to pull that for their own benefit, because they're already rich, you know. They don't benefit from social justice because their family was, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna name anything.
Names are.
Yeah, but they already benefited from all this corruptions. So they do not have this. They do not benefit from anything if we push for anti-corruption or anything, for transparency, because that's how they get their allowance. That's how they get their money, right? So why would I do that? You know, if I put my foot in their shoes, and I would also like understand where they're coming from, but I'm more of a social justice person.
Yeah, and wrong is wrong.
Yeah, wrong is wrong. Like there's no gray area kind of thing, you know, like
So macam I think one of the things that I remember doing as muda is we always go to this multi-party punya events. So IRI, SDG, all these events that trains young political leader. For some reason, I'm still young political leader that is macam they say is worthy to be trained, whatever. So they said that, so I just go, I pergi je. So so I get to meet macam young youth leaders from other political parties.
Are they younger than you or like about the same age?
First of all, when I go to this kind of thing, most people are younger than me. So I am not that old. I'm not that young. I'm like 38. So I'm 38. So most of the time I go to this kind of event, I would probably be like the oldest person there. So so they are most macam at most lah, around 30, mid 30s and all that stuff. So a lot of them I see macam they do macam have a very negative effect on corruption itself, because if there is corruption in the government, there is corruption in that party as well. So macam it's difficult for them to rise or like get a berth into in the party without them also
pulling
have
some
to
strings.
without not just pulling some strings, macam having to give some concession to like their leaders apa semua kan. So that's one thing that they say, that's why they hate corruption, because it also affects them dekat dalam their own party. But there are a number of young leaders yang macam do normalize, macam you said lah, normalize, macam it is the culture. You cannot change this.
Yeah.
And I always tak suka when people say that, because if you want to change a culture, you want to change rasuah, you have to start.
Yeah, we have to start.
Kan, kalau you keep saying that it cannot be done, it is the culture, then it will always be the culture.
Yeah.
Correct tak?
Correct. Like, people keep saying, like, it's the same thing for a lot of stuff actually. Like, oh, we can't change this. It can't be changed. Like, something like, what's the most easiest example? Like, young marriages, okay? A lot of cultures, they like, oh, we can't change that. It's embedded between us, but it's like, it's your own morality, you know? Are you willing to let your own morality feather because of the culture? You can't change the culture. It's been there for such a long time. You have no power over it and all that. Like, if one person change, it will slowly build up its own, it will further build up its own new kind of ethic, and it will spread. Like,
change the
yeah,
culture.
it will change. It will not simply happen with a snap of a finger. We are not Thanos here, so like, it's like it needs a lot of force to combat a whole
Yeah, but I takut macam Thanos pun tak boleh tukar. Thanos with all the 6 stones so cannot change the Malaysian corruption culture. But itulah. So I agree with what you said. It is. We need to make the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is probably in your idea the solution? Bukan solution lah. The way to go, or how we actually change it.
I think I said this word a lot. Transparency.
Yeah.
Like a transparency between the government and the people and a lot of other companies, so that we will see where the money is going. We will start the money trail. It will be, if you done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. So why do all that, right? You know, like, we should issue every, like, you know, we will look into your accounts, like how we do all the account transactions, semua kan. We need to see that. We need to see where's the money from, where's the money to, and also more for the rakyat, where the rakyat side can do is like, it's like your own ethics, you know. Do you really want to see a world where your daughter your child have to bribe its way up, or have to use names, or like mention names, mention this, do all those really ethically wrong stuff, push people down? There's a lot of stuff like, just to get somewhere, and it will easily tumble once everything is laid out, you know, like. Yeah.
Okay, so I get it. Macam, transparency will be a thing. That is macam what we say lah. But I don't think it's just the transparency. It's also probably giving the power to like macam, you know, AG. I mean, like separating the power of the Prime Minister from the AG.
Separation of power.
Separation of power. Putting AG under Parliament. Putting the MACC. I mean, like, the MACC
itself is corrupted.
I mean, like, that is macam one thing kan. Our own MACC punya director has a scandal, a corruption scandal. That is how corrupt I feel Malaysia is. Our MACC, for those here, if you are watching from outside Malaysia, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Director General had a scandal.
Yeah.
The Director General, who is still there by the way, had a scandal.
Yeah.
So macam what this is Malaysia. This is Malaysia punya corruption culture. It is a culture that is sick and we really need to change.
Sick to its core, and like it's like the easiest, most idealistic one is just to go correct to the whole to the core and just dig out and like just evict everyone who's corrupted and all, but like it's so complicated behind that. You can see when Anwar like pardons a lot of like, there's a lot of like pardonings with a lot of like, there's 3 notable one, Nusa Aman, Zahmidi and also Rosma.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people wonder why this happened, how this could happen under the leadership that always talk about anti-corruption, anti-this and social justice. What happened? You know, what gone wrong? You know.
Okay, so let's get back to the protest itself. Remember when the protest, in the a few days before the protest, they said that Bersatu and PAS wanted to join the protest and everything kan, and there was a bit of a pushback lah from the activists saying that macam they couldn't tunggang all this.
They don't allow any parties to
tunggang apa semua. What is your thoughts on that? Because I believe that the corruption problem is a political problem because it's political people.
Yeah.
So what do you think on that?
I feel like political parties shouldn't just announce that. Okay, it comes to a point where protest, right? You need to handle it well. You need to. There's logistics. There's everything, but political parties shouldn't participate formally. Yeah, like to just, because this is just one sort of like media image that they want to portray, while the protesters are actively trying their hardest to get rid of it. And if you really want to join all these protests and like make a better image of your political party, you should do it internally first. You know, like if you are aware of this kind of problem, then try to fix it, try to cultivate this more actively, and then try to like actively participate in all this. You shouldn't just there's a anti-corruption protest, okay, we should join, just to our face, you know, just our face to show face.
I understand. I do agree that they shouldn't show your face, but I also believe that macam we should allow anyone who wants to stand against protest to stand lah.
But
there is a balance of things. So I think that's something that we also need to work out, because I don't think if you create a protest, a nationwide protest, a public protest against something that everybody wants to join, to exclude anyone. But at the same time, when I was there at the protest, I do see a group of banners from people from Borneo talking about this guy is corrupt, this guy is corrupt, this guy is corrupt. But they didn't mention Musa Aman is corrupt, because you know why? Those people are Musa Aman's people. Understand that? So there is like a lot of nuance within that protest itself. But I think we should start to focus on the issue of the corruption itself than actually to blame other people, so that we can all come together and fight. So thank you very much, Vicky, for coming. I hope to see you again in Apa Kata MUDA.
Thank you for inviting me, by the way.
Yeah, we would like to macam one of the things that Apa Kata MUDA is trying to do is actually trying to introduce more and more macam future leaders or leadership of within and also throughout the outside the party as well. So this is one of the reasons why we do this lah. So we hope we are trying to get more and more young people and muda people to come in. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any last thing to say, Apa Kata MUDA, like fans?
Hi guys. Sup. Okay.
There you go. So the last word is like, hi guys, sup. Yeah, sup. So don't forget to subscribe, to follow, like, and share. So even though it's a small thing for you guys, but it does help us a lot in keeping Apa Kata MUDA running, so that we can bring more issues and more important issues from the people to the people. Sorry. So thank you so much.